Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
Magic.
True nation building begins with character, integrity, responsibility, purpose. That's the vision of Nurture Nest on Character Matters for Nation Building. Hosted by Oluwatoyin Ogedengbe, Sundays 3 to 4 p.m. on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Ibadan. Character Matters, building values, shaping lives.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wells Radio 89.3 FM. This is the 8th of March 2026. It's the International Women's Day and it's such a privilege to be alive. It's so good to be back and we want to say big welcome to all of you, our listeners, and those watching on Facebook Live. It's so good to be connecting with each and every one of you. I am your regular host, Oluwatoyin Ogedengbe from Nurture Nest. It's so good to be back. We celebrate amazing women, one of whom is the CEO of Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Chief Mrs. Lillian Bademosi, amazing woman doing amazing things. And in the studios this afternoon, I'm not here alone. It's been buzzing. And I know the energy is positive, the vibes, like the Gen Zs and Alphas would say, is also positive. We have amazing women, cross-generational, in the studios this afternoon. You're welcome. Don't go away.
Shapes lives. Welcome back to Character Matters for Nation Building.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome family radio, situated at Oluyole in the heart of Ibadan, or your state. And I know that a lot of you are connected with us across the airwaves and on social media, Facebook, and also on YouTube. We welcome you again. And like I said today, I have amazing women here. I have a woman, a veteran development worker, She's Dr. Grace Oluwatoyin. She's in her 70s, and I was just saying, just before we came on air, saying to the younger women that she backed a doctoral degree when she was 72. So, that nothing is impossible once you make up your mind. All things are possible. Welcome, ma'am. It's so good to have you on the show
Thank you
afternoon.
very much.
Thank you so much.
I'm
and
happy
next
to be
to
here.
her, thank you so much, is a professional baker. She's passionate. Sometimes I ask, how did this all come about? And it's also something transgenerational, because I think it's from the grandma and onto the mother, and then onto her, and something amazing that's been passed over to her. She's Oluwatobiloba Ibrahim. She's the CEO of Toby Craft. So good to have you on the show this afternoon.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad to be here.
Thank you. Of course, next to her is another amazing woman. She's a medical social worker, passionate about lives. The work that I do, running an NGO, sometimes I call her the pastors of the ladies. We have the privilege of carrying out some rehabilitation work for women in exploitative and harmful circumstances. Some of them are survivors of trafficking in persons, and some are, people who found themselves in exploitative circumstances like commercial sex work. And she's so passionate about that work. She's really passionate. So good to have you on the show, Omolade Ayonkoya.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome on
Thank
the
you
show.
very much for having me, ma. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. And of course, the last but not least, and the way that we say we have it this afternoon, because what we're thinking of passing on, we're talking about legacy, and if there is no plan, sustainable plan in place to ensure that one generation passes this good legacy onto another, I mean, we can just miss it along the way. But we're grateful that we have women who are passionate about that and also intentional about passing across the right legacy. So we have one of the youngest women. She is a data scientist and an AI developer. She's Melody Ogedengbe. That's why my amazing first daughter, actually. So good to have you on the show. Okay, so you're welcome everyone. And I know that International Women's Day, yes, we have the theme for the International Women's Day, Give to Gain. We're also talking about what the United Nations has as, the rights, justice, actions, for women and for girls. And, we're looking at all that we have, and we're looking at, the transgenerational impact, for Mama GOG, like we call her, Dr. Grace Oluwatoyin, who is a veteran development worker. There's so many things that we know that over the years she would have seen in the 7 decades of our existence. And we really want to see how much we can get from amazing women like ourselves to see how this can be sustained across generations. So, Ma, you've seen Nigeria through its many seasons. And, Life Builders as your dream, I know it's growing bigger and bigger every day initiative, has also survived decades. But in a world now that is obsessed with quick gains, instant viral fame, how did your generation use the principle of giving to build an institution that actually lasts?
Thank you very much. Before we go, I also like to congratulate all of us as we celebrate the International Women's Day. And we give thumbs up to women who have become elderly, much older than myself, and those in my generation whom we could call pioneering women, courageous women, burden bearers, initiators, women who have been tenacious, women who are inspiring, women who never give up. And now to the next generation, the radiant, upcoming, innovative one, the Gen Z the generation with all the AIs and all the things going on around them. I celebrate everyone. And we want to thank God for how far He has brought us. And looking at how we live sustainable legacies, we want to give it back to our mothers who in those days have given us values. You know, God himself is the author of giving.
Yeah.
And the creation of womankind by itself, I think, is a function of giving. Because when God saw a huge gap after the Adam he created, he said, he looked around and now said, what will I give this man to make him happy, to make him comfortable? I look for a helpmeet fit for him. And so going into that role as women automatically gives us a giving disposition.
A giving disposition.
Because we are actually meant to bridge
Created
the gaps.
to give.
We were created to give. And you look at everything about us, our anatomical, physiological setup, you will know a woman is indeed created to give and as a gift to somebody. So be that as it may, in our mother's generation, we were raised to be hardworking, to serve in the home, to acquire as many skills as you could. And that's why we give it back to our great-grandmothers. Every time I look at, come to think about food as the surviving thing in the home. How they process. These days, the Gen Z are lucky. Touch of a button, everything is ready.
It's ready.
These were generations when our mothers look at corn. Oh, this corn, after some time, if it's not dried, it's going to get spoiled. She will dry it up, then re-soak it in water, process it into and crush and sifted to make kogi, to make semo, to make all sorts of things. Making moi, making akara, all those things. They were values. They were values that gives you tenacity in doing what you have to do. And now coming to life builders to build a legacy that is sustainable. Now we've been on for about 3 decades because we are well over 20 years, 25 years now. Precisely, we started way back to year 2000 and mentoring young people. Giving them essential life skills and leadership traits of transformational leadership things. How does power come to you? How do you perceive yourself? Who are you? Who are you? Because a lot of the gaps we have these days is because people don't know who they are. I mentioned before, I said we were created to fill a gap in humanity itself. God said, oh, there's a gap. Let me bring a helpmeet. And then the woman was created. And so now there is a lot of confusion. Some people tell you, I don't know what orientation. What orientation do you want when you're already coming with a definitive biological makeup? Well, as soon as a child is born in the hospital, you know, female or male. No controversy. Then to now grow up and be asking yourself whether you are trans this, you are trans that, absolute. Whatever. Anyway, I like to say in the course of living and living true to the themes of the year and past inferences by the United Nations that we want equality, we want justice, we want equity, we want to be treated fairly, we want to be treated nicely. I think it is all values you must take on board.
Values.
Let each individual know who they are. As soon as you know who you are and your relational currency with other people, that's what makes the difference. If you value other people, you are valued in return, then the gain is for everybody. Reciprocity.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Fantastic. If you value yourself,
value
other people, you will be
valued and everybody is winning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I know we have a lot of wisdom to glean. Thank you so much. Let me move quickly to Oluwatoyin Ibrahim. And you know, whilst we were putting this together, it was one of the things that came to mind many times. Sometimes people want to define women by their marital status. I was saying, well, yeah, women who are doing amazing. Not because they are feminists, quote and unquote, who are saying they're not going to get married. No, but because this is a path that they are following. This is a phase of their lives. but they're not sitting down and allowing the clock to just tick. They're making the most of that opportunity. And Oluwatoyin is one of such persons, and that's why we're asking for somebody like you, with all that is going on social media. How do you cope? The pressure that comes with, some people say, oh, as a woman, no, don't aim for too high, or so that when the man comes around. Is your life defined by marriage or by your marital status? Over to you.
Thank you very much, ma. And that's a huge one, because a lot of people are actually passing through this, and a lot of people are in depression because of it and everything. So I define my goals and everything early in life, and I'm someone that understands myself, and I have the understanding of who God calls me, and I know who I am. So that plays a huge role in managing the pressure when people come around. A lot of people will come, they come with suggestions about what are you doing about marriage, as a woman you need a covering, and so on and so forth. The biological time is ticking. Some people will even come with the advice of, even if it is just a child, you can just have a child and know that you are done with that phase and things like that. But I used to give God all the glory, because I was born again early, and I knew what I wanted. I knew the purpose of God for me. I knew I was going to be married. In fact, maybe God already knew that this phase is going to be there. He gave me the names of my kids. So I have that as a hope that I am holding on to.
That you're holding on to.
Yes. So it really helped me and backed me up. So I'm just going to encourage every woman out there that is passing through this. I just want you to know who you are, know yourself, define your values. This is not the time for you to be, don't allow anybody to pressure you. Don't be desperate. So if you decide to be desperate at this time, different types of things is going to come around, and you might make the mistake you are not supposed to make. So because sometimes I used to give God the glory that I'm not married by now, because I used to look at the things that I've not even worked on, and God is pointing them out to me now, that see these things, character that you need to work on. Because marriage is not something, is a lifelong, and it's two people from different backgrounds that are coming together. So sometimes I would just imagine and say, so I have this kind of character, how would I cope? So I used to hear some people saying, even if I had known, I would have waited a little bit. I wouldn't have gotten married into marriage. So it's just two sides of a coin, and I just had the balance. I know that this thing is going to happen. And while waiting, I make myself useful. I'm not holding myself down. Yes, I know. Yes, God is going to use me to help a lot of people. While that is going to come along. So,
fantastic.
Thank
and
you,
I must commend you, because having done a first degree, a master's, and then the Toby's craft. She's a professional baker. Fantastic that she does, and she's got a lot of staff. So she's not allowing that phase of her life to stop her. So, single women out there, you have no excuse at all. If you're watching online or you're listening to us, please do not allow your marital status to define who you are. You have so many things that you can do. There are so many purposes that you can fulfill. There are so many lives that can benefit from you. And so please live your life fully. Live your life fully. Yes, to the fullest, And so I'll go to Omolade, and this phase of life, raising children, there are hopes, but is at that phase the children are still young, balancing life, career. And I know you've been through quite a bit. Sometimes you're saying, maybe we hold on and put this professional or career advancement on hold, just for you to be able to raise family, to be able to give to family. So talking about giving is gain. How really has it been for you? How are you able to maintain that balance, as a young lady growing and then having young children at this point in time?
All right, thank you very much, Mommy, for the question. It hasn't been so easy.
Amazing. I mean, well, let me quickly chip in. This show, actually, we are very down to earth. As it is, we say it. We are not coming to form like everything is perfect. So we want the people out there to be able to learn. It's character matters for nation building. That, okay, in areas where we have not really found it easy, what has been the coping mechanism? How have we been able to, cope with the situation? So please feel free.
All right, thank you very much once again. All right, going by what Dr. said earlier, marriage is an institution created by God, and as a woman raising young children and also juggling it with work and family, it's something you have to go back to God, because God is the main source of strength. The challenge will come, you sometimes you even doubt yourself as a woman, like you feel, am I giving enough? And societal pressure as well. Sometimes I could remember back then when I take my babies for immunization, and you see different babies. Every child grows differently. So you see some people be like comparing, like look at this one, look at this baby, look at it. So it's a kind of pressure. It puts pressure on the woman, feeling maybe you're not doing enough, whereas you are doing your best. And another thing I would say that has helped is, there's that phase. Every woman needs to know that it's a sacrifice our mothers paid.
That's the giving.
That's the giving. Yes, it's a sacrifice we also have to pay. There is nothing, just like they said, no pain, no gain. There is nothing we want to do in life that will come easy. So we need to develop that capacity. The moment we say yes, we are ready, and God blesses us with children, we know that it is God that gives us this children. So we should be ready at any point we feel weak. We should be ready to run back to Him for strength. Okay, God, what do I do in this certain situation and all that? Then also, as a woman, it's made me. This phase made me appreciate my mom more, because then I'm like, you have 7 children. I just have 2. How were you able to do all this? But I saw that hard work, that resilience. Those things, those values that she gave, that she poured into us, poured into me, made me also, in the face of those moments, I was able to draw from those from that well of knowledge that when it is this situation, you do this. So we need to ensure that we, as parents, as mothers, we need to give our children the right values. The right values. When we give them, it tends to the society at large. It is not only that child. The child also births another family. So we are constantly building nations while we are giving back. But with the Gen Zs now, sometimes when I look at them, some of them say, oh, my mental health. I'm like, what have you done? What have you done? And we'll see that our parents some of them juggle like 4 different work, and yet they were still there for us. So we too, some of them might not even be able to juggle just one profession, and they're already screaming their mental health. So I believe women listening to me, you need to draw capacity. Know that God is the master of strength, is the one that can give you that inner strength that you need, and just fall on Him. And I'm sure that God will continue to help and strengthen us all.
Amazing. Thank you. I'm still going to come back to, the issue of mental health. And, of course, it's not in any way to downplay, that's, the fact that some persons may be dealing with mental health issues. but also that there's a balance. That, you know, as women, there are times that we'll go through difficulties. And of course, in some regard, as women, you know, some women talk about, you know, the monthly flow, how, you know, difficult it can be, and then the wondering, how do they cope? Oh, we really do feel you. We understand the pain that some really go through. Some, you know, going through some pressure of medical, you know, challenges, you know, hormonal imbalances and all of that, the changes that go with the various phases. We want you to know that we feel you as a woman who is going through all that, and yet still giving. And we salute your courage, and we want to encourage you. Should you be out there? Was it Toby mentioned the fact that some actually may have also maybe degenerated into maybe a state of depression. We want you to know that help is available. You know, please do not suffer in silence. Do not suffer in silence. If there's anything you're going through, and you know, sometimes people don't want to talk. I'm going to go to the you know, the data scientists, because these days of social media, what people see out there, what people are showing, fake lives, you know, that people are showing, then it begins to mount unnecessary pressure on some people. Some persons, they're looking at their lives and say, oh, my mates, hey, see what they're doing. Oh no, do not compare yourselves with other people. Life is in phases and men are in sizes. Please live your life as God has ordained for you to live your life. We're not saying be slothful. We're not saying be lackadaisical, but please understand your purpose and run with your purpose. But we'll still come back, you know, as a medical social worker, so that we look at the issue of mental well-being for us as women. And then to the youngest amongst us, I know, you know, sometimes you're looking at the gaps, and sometimes you're trying to cope with all of the social media platforms. Sometimes how are they coping? Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. I know they don't do Facebook, or they tell you no, their generations are not on Facebook. Tell us, which other ones are you on? Twitter. You know, that's where they are on. And you know, I say sometimes, for us to really be able to reach them, you better go where they are. You know, go where they are, so that you can reach them. So, you know, we say that data is like the new oil, like it's being said, and you know, we say data is the new oil. But for women and girls, we know that data can also be a tool for justice or a weapon for exploitation. So how do we give our attention to the right digital spaces to gain a future where women aren't just data points, but decision makers, especially women, ladies your age, who at this point are the ones most vulnerable? So how do you
I think I'm going to just start off from where you ended. You know, many times women and girls are unfortunately the ones that suffer when there's injustice, when there aren't proper policies in place, when there's no implementation of rules and laws in these social media spaces. So I think for every young girl there, you need to be careful. We talk about how you have your digital footprint. Data doesn't die. It doesn't disappear. Information you put online doesn't just fade. Even when you delete it, sometimes it's stored
still
somewhere
in the clouds.
Exactly. So you see people who have even grown up, done some things in the past, but unfortunately put it on some social media platform. You see it coming back to quote unquote haunt them. So we need to be careful, right? So first off, we've said it can be used as a tool or a weapon against women. I think just recently, one of these social media platforms, there was this issue of the AI tool creating nude images of ladies, just with a prompt, a simple sentence, and then you post your picture fully clothed, and you tell it to give you this person, and you know, it's very traumatizing for some people to just come online and see.
So somebody uses another person's image.
You upload your image, a normal image, and then another person just asks the AI tool to get a nude image, uses your face, puts it on it. But so it's a bit traumatizing for people. And we as ladies, sometimes we just need to step up and speak for ourselves. We just need to occupy that space. Because if someone else, you know, you can't really know what someone else is going through unless you're in their shoe. As much as we want the men to also see the issue, women, we have to start speaking for ourselves first. that's why we want people to come into the data space. Come, let's learn about, data equity. Let's learn about safe, ethical use of AI. We can create the policies. We can make those rules that guide safe AI use. Make sure that nobody's been exploited in any way. Right, on these platforms, because as much as the elders in the room have really been on Gen Z today, they've been on us today.
So tell us, we want to hear. Yes,
they've really been on us. Let me try and speak for the Gen Z as useful as I can. Social media is something that's always going to be there. The technology is here and it's here to stay. It's even going to get more advanced as we develop, as we evolve. But what needs to be constant is also the laws need to evolve. The laws that are in place need to evolve. The policies need to evolve. And it can only be done when young people understand that there's a problem. Young people understand that I can learn, right? If you're going to give, and now giving a safe space for a young girl, you need to first learn how to understand the space, speak up about it. Then you give a space where each and every young lady, young girl can flourish.
Okay, maybe before I leave you, let's talk about the algorithm of character. Okay. So that all of that you've said, because the example that you cited, I know was trending some weeks ago. Somebody who had posted some things about when she worked in a daycare. Whether she did those things or whether they were just imaginations or the feelings that she had, but those things were there. And several years after, they came trailing after her. Yes. So you're young, single, professional, and I think it's still a male-dominated tech field, and that's why we're also emphasizing the STEM, in schools, science, tech, engineering, and math, for girls. And then you're looking at the United Nations theme as rights and justice for all. So when you see the bias in how AI or algorithms treat women, so does your character compel you? Because you've been talking about the fact that young women, young ladies also need to rise, step up, get in that space. So does it compel you to take action? So I'll ask you now, challenging you and asking you to speak to young ladies who are listening out there. Now, what will it take for us to get into this space? And maybe for some of us, older generation, can we still, come and, do one or two things to help the situation, but much more to your generation? What can we do? How do we ensure that the future is female in the digital world too? That's not so how do we get more?
Okay, I think I'll start with responding to the first question you asked. How does it feel, seeing the space is still relatively male-dominated compared to some other spaces? I'd say initially when I got in here, it was a bit staggering for me, coming in and see maybe just 3 ladies. You can count the number of ladies and you're seeing more men in that space. But I think recently there's been a sort of rise in women coming into that space, because we have a lot of great communities out there that are pushing young ladies, pushing them straight from secondary school, going on outreaches, speaking to them. That's the giving part, right? So as you are giving, right, the system becomes, as you just said, female. The digital space is for the women, creating space, inclusivity, and all that. So that's how we overcome it, right? The imbalance is still there, but we just need to still give, still push, advocate, right?
Advocacy. So maybe bullet points now.
Let's say advocacy, yes.
And then enlightenment,
helping people understand what. So you may not even be into tech per se, but you read about it and you see that this is a problem, right? You don't need to code, you don't need to learn, you don't need to be a product designer, but you've noticed that there could be a gap here for the women and the girls here. You can start speaking. We have so many platforms where you can write. Social media, that's how you use social media for good, when you say for good. Social media for good. And that's what I'll speak to the young women now, the young ladies. Your voice is very important.
Your voice is very important.
And I think it's also a challenge to myself, so many times I want to take the back seat, and I realize that if there's going to be a change, there's going to be something different, we have to step out of our comfort zone. And I know so many times women like to joke, we ladies like to joke that even if I don't do anything, maybe I'll just get married. Let's please. We've heard from Mrs. Omolade. She has told us you can still be doing that. Mrs. Toby has told us too. This time is not just a time to sit and wait, right?
Yeah.
So it may be you may get married. This is a space your daughter is going to come into in the long run. A space your sister is going to come into. So what can you do? It could just be resharing a post about someone that said, noticed a gap and is taking some steps to kind of bridge that gap. Repost that video, like that video, share that video. As we say,
fantastic.
more awareness. That's
awesome. I'm coming to you right after Mama
Because she has
Gioji.
really challenged us in Jenny category, and I tell you where we are waiting to come into that space.
Yes, man. So that's what I'm coming to now, because we're looking at your generation. I mean, times and seasons are in God's hands, and like we said, we must commend women like yourself who've given so much and are still giving. You're giving, you're not drained. Women struggle with that they need to give. And talking about depression, I know your time maybe was a bit easier, that you would have family members who would support. Because recently we had a case, of a woman, thank God for other commuters, on the bus, and they saw that, well dressed, the baby strapped to her back, but they saw that she was hallucinating and just talking to herself, and they stood up for her. I keep saying, don't just be a bystander, be an upstander. You see something, you say something, you do something about it. And then they took her graciously to the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Inclusion. Okay, we see online quite a number of questions. Do we have questions there? Okay, so just some women. I see you, my sis, Ayongbe Somolade, Ayokoya. Okay, all right, okay, fantastic. So we see that we're going to open the phone lines soon, but I just wanted Mama Gioji to speak to that. So you will have mother-in-law coming. We know the negative and the positive side. Long story short, what happened? In Yoruba, you talk about Abisinwi, but this part of the world that we downplay that a lot. People do not know that this is what this woman is going through. That she's actually dealing with something challenging, and they're shouting, "You are lazy, or Lenye, get up!" And then these days now, you see a lot more people, which is what we've been praying for, should go to school. So you are not having, you're going to, when you're getting married, one my farmer can tell you, okay, go and support, in those days. But now, so girl that goes to but everybody needs to go to school. So women, how do we help women? As older women, what would be your recommendations, encouragement, and then you can link that with the social media.
In fact, I was going to thank you very much. This is really interesting. Listening to Melody from the perspective of the data scientist is giving me a broader view of the issues arising now with the Gen Z generation. Everybody's got to go the way of the data. That's the truth. And advocacy, I was talking to a group of my women in church, and I was saying, this grandma, I think we need to stand up and raise our voice more about advocacy for sanitizing even the data space or the bandwidth of Nigeria that is too loose. So many things
sometimes
coming
the
in
songs,
for
the lyrics of songs, even content of movies and skits.
It's like
all.
women are not talking about it. I think this is part of the great giving we need to give. Because if we don't sanitize that space.
Okay, so how do we give, ma'am?
Giving it is by becoming advocates.
Okay, advocacy.
Because she has talked about the deficits in policies and the laws guiding the space. Now that we know, let the lawyers, let the medical scientists, let the nurses, the teachers, the grandmother, everybody, we must come together and begin to say, these are the things we want, this is what we don't want. And then coming from mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, I think our generation cope with those kind of pressures, and we should understand, we should come back with understanding and help the Gen Z generation. I always tell them, you guys in your generation, now you went to school with the same girls. If the two of you went to medical school together or any higher institution, you go with the same kind of, how come you not get married and you are still saying I'm the big man here? You got to give. The men need to give more to the women. Bring understanding. Appreciate them. You know, one thing that they don't know, and information needs to go out. A woman has several hormones interplay within the space of 30 days. Whereas the man is constant. Androgen is the only hormone coming in his body for whatever. But there is one in the first 7 days that makes menses come. By the time ovulation is coming, you're a different person. As soon as
the moods are changing,
the menses in the 30 days along the continuum of 4 weeks and different moods.
So
we need to understand this.
Men should show understand. Women also show understanding to other
the
women.
Women should educate the boys and the girls at the side. Don't just push everything to the girls. Let the boys know, look, this is your girl, this is your future wife. As your sister is going with menstrual challenges here, she's also going to go through that. So by the time we start all this subtle advocacy to let them know how to even help them manage their relationship currency. If you understand, my wife, she's changing. This week I better keep my distance. And instead of just being harsh, I can throw a simple joke as, hey, mama, babe. The mood is changing and we understand that code. We got to start our own coding language, even in managing our relationship.
Wow, thank you so much.
And so we keep giving to make it, because at the end of the day, everybody will gain. If we are able to invest this into ourselves, understanding one another, giving what we could, receiving it and sharing it, then the world is a better place.
Thank you so much. When we come together like this, the time just keeps
and it's like our time is back.
We will have you back again and again. I was going to also mention that we have some laws in place. There's a violence against persons prohibition law, and it has some aspects, for engagements on social media. So all of these issues about posting nudes, you're in a group, somebody sends nudes to you, sexually explicit content, delete immediately. And some persons will go and say, somebody sent it to me. No, don't even open it, and then delete them. I'll be going right away to Miss Oluwatoyin by Ibrahim.
I just want to quickly say something on what you just mentioned. Please, if you're on social media and you see content that is not palatable in any way, please report the content. Report community guidelines. Just follow up. It's not everything that will be taken down, but do your part. Do your part.
And I also realize, I don't know if it's for every Android phone, on Facebook, for instance, that if you're being bullied or you're going to shake your phone. Once you shake the phone, there's an alert that pops up and you can click. Try it. Wow. I know it happens with my phone. You're on Facebook. Once you shake the phone, some alerts will come up to tell whether you're being bullied or there's something somebody harassing you, trying to exploit you, and you to be become the woke generation. What's happening? So I want to have your last words, like we've said. So now you're building capacity, you are building people, getting set, preparing, because there's a future ahead of you. And you made a very valid point about God using this time to prepare you, to shape you. I want your last words to some single women out there. What will be your last words of encouragement? What do they do in this phase to help them?
All right, thank you very much, ma. I would just say, live this time, live it to the fullest. Because one thing I've come to realize is that when you finally get married and you start a family, this opportunity you have, you don't have it again, and you can never get it again. You can never get it again. So now this is the time you have to live for yourself. So when you get married, when you start a family, you start living for others, start living for your husband, your kids. So This is one of the best time of your life. Those other phases too are good, but if you just enjoy it to the fullest and don't be distracted, be focused.
Be focused. I really want to emphasize on that. Do not be distracted. Be focused. Any other point from you? Okay, so we'll come back. So, Mrs. Ayonkoya, you have a lot of people. Yes, Omalade, I see you commenting. We have the phone lines. I wouldn't know. Maybe before the studio line 0916 893 1000, 0915 3334 893, 0911 3333 893, in case we have any of the listeners who would want to call in. So we're saying, I knew at a point, as a young married woman, I had to resign working, to take care of the children. And I know at some point in time for you, it was so that you could look after family, parenting. So now at this phase of life, you also have women these days, the feminist thing talking. I want you to speak, in that light and speak to our women. Yes, in marriage, we are people of faith who believe in the word of God. The Bible is God's final authority on any and every matter. Yeah. The man is not to lord it over the woman. The man is to lead by example, not to rule over her. But now these days you're hearing women, the Bible has actually said it, that in the last days people will even forbid to marry. They don't want to submit. How is it that? Because it looks like that is coming more from your generation. Like, no. I know the and I say to people, we have issues of intimate partner violence. And we're not saying that you remain in such abusive relationships, okay? But we also are not saying that for every and anything that happens, it's an irreconcilable difference. And then they are, I want out, So what would you be saying to your generation? How would you encourage them to just hold on and, be the best even in marriage?
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. Yeah, to every woman out there listening, I just want to encourage you that just like this life, there is everything is in phases. So let's not be too eager, as it comes. Whatever situation demands at that particular time. There was a time I stopped working. I resigned from work because I know that my family was lacking. So I needed to just, take that moment out. Now I'm back again. So everything in life is in phases. So try as much as possible. A lot of things that I feel affect most of us women is the fact that we want to compare. We want to, you can't eat your cake and have it. We see independent women, like those that are yet to be married, doing well. And we that we are married because of, probably during the process of childbearing, you don't have that energy to do one or two. So you tend to feel like, oh, this person is doing, you tend to compare. Please, let's stop comparing because we, when we compare ourselves, we just, we are punishing ourselves when we do that. So
we're not wise.
We are not wise, yes. So it's, whatever situation demands, just give it what it takes. And know that when you give time for your family, it might look really rough or demanding in the beginning, but it's rewarding. It's rewarding. And another thing I would just want to encourage our mothers, because I feel whoever raised us, just like we keep passing the baton. Whatever character values we instill in our young ones will be what they would take along and they also pass it on. So let our mothers encourage women that I know we are fighting for equal rights and all that and inclusion, but not that we have the same rights. Let's have that, but we should know that a woman needs to sacrifice at some point for the family.
For the family, and that's the giving. This is
the
who you
giving,
are,
that's the
which
truth.
Mama Georgie started with. Understand who you are. I am female. I am a woman. So I have chosen this path that I want to be married. I will sacrifice at some point in time. And of course, that is not to say that the man takes advantage of you. We talked about respect. There's mutual respect and appreciation, understanding. You know, all that needs to go into that. You know, I wanted to also speak because I know that the younger generation struggles with this a lot, what we call the Russian, roulette, and then all of these challenges, and on social media these days we've been seeing some videos and do this, I dare you, what do you have to say to the younger generation as we wrap it up?
Thank you for that question. Like I said before, social media is here to stay. And we've seen social media even become a system and a world of its own. We are having new professions, quote and unquote, coming out because you are having social media influencers, content creation, things that were not heard of before. And then you see, because of that very hype, I will use the word hype, you see people making money off of it, you see people becoming popular off of it. Many people are caught up in that race to want to also amass, want to get followers, they want the likes, they want, doing all sort of things to ensure that people can also recognize you when they see you on the street or they follow your content. While that is good to some extent, because I believe in social media as a tool, so whatever it is, you mentioned character, that's the same thing you project on your platform. We just need to be mindful. We need to learn how to draw the line. There are some things that, if you weigh it honestly, what you're about to do, is it really important? Do the likes really matter when you do this? Do you need to, is there a validation? Yes, is it? So again, like Mama has said, if you know who you are, right, that pressure may not even affect you as much as it will affect people. Because you see now people edit their pictures
because they want to fit into a particular mood,
exactly. It's very rampant, but you can just decide as a person, right? I'm not saying just delete your socials and go black. No. But just manage how you use it, manage how you utilize it, right? And be careful that you're not creating some sort of image, or your platform will not be the reason someone does something and ends up dead, or someone does something and ends up in a very harmful situation. You don't want that on your conscience. You don't, right? Morally, and you don't want to implicate yourself. I think that's
fantastic. This is the giving dividend, is the Nurture Nest edition on Character Matters for Nation Building on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, and today on International Women's Day 2026, we redefine what it means to slay. The world will say, if you've got it, flaunt it, slay them. What we're doing, we are life givers, life builders, and life molders. So in a world that tells, the African woman just grab the power, hustle for validation, slay for the camera, we choose a different path. We choose the path of character. So the young ones out there finding their ways, stop playing the Russian roulette with your identity for digital likes. Your value isn't in what you show, it is in what you sow. I say that again. Your value isn't in what you show, it's in what you sow, the giving, the values. And when people are around you, what kind of aura are you giving? What kind of vibes? Let it be positive vibes and positive energy that you're giving. Give yourself permission to be a work in progress, like Ms. Oluwatoyin has mentioned. Focus, no distraction. Mama Georgie has told us that we need to sustain the values, respect, those core values of resilience, of patience. Let us harm ourselves with those values. And we're saying to those in their 30s, going in their 40s, you are the bridge. You're raising families, the children are young, the pressure is there, we feel you. You are giving your empathy to the broken and your energy in the boardroom. But remember, you cannot pour from an empty nest or cup. So give yourself the grace to rest, gain endurance when you nurture your own soul. And people like myself in their 50s, we're auditing the foundation. We're asking ourselves, what are we passing down? Who gave birth to the Gen Zs? Who gave birth? We gave birth. So who gave birth to them? What did we hand down to them? Who gave birth to the Gen Alphas? What did we hand down to them? We should ask ourselves. So if we give our children things but deny them character, we are leaving them bankrupt. We gain authority when our public success matches our private peace. And Mama, we thank you again, Mama GOG, for being on the show. Thank you for the life-giving years. I know there are many more years. We look forward to that. God granting you, health, and sound mind, as you continue to pursue. We say you gain immortality because your character has become our blueprint. You can say, oh, see that Mama ahead. Then we can also do something. Thank you so much. Ms. Oluwatoyin Ibrahim, for being on the show. Thank you. You've talked about that. Please keep being the woman that God has called you. A woman of substance you are. We are proud of you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Omalade Ayonkoya, for being on the show. The sacrifices are not a waste, like you said, that you are giving to gain legacy. You are pouring into those lives and building those lives. And of course, the youngest in the room, thank you for those challenging words that, yes, there's a link. We're not leaving you in the dark. We're here. So that's why we're all here. If we can connect our hands right there. Yes, so we're taking it all. We're advocating and ensuring. Thank you so much, Melody Ogedengbe. Thank you so much. The policies will come. We will do our part. Let's keep giving our best. Thank you so much. Our studio manager, Mr. Henry, the he for she. The only man in our midst. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're giving all that we need to give. So today we don't just celebrate being women, we celebrate being women of character. Because when a woman's character is top notch, her world becomes a nest where everyone can fly. Happy International Women's Day 2026. And this is Oluwatoyin Ogedengbe, your regular host, saying bye for now. Thank you.
We continue to give.